Good morning and welcome back to another session of Java programming language. In the previous videos, we have started the web application development using Java. So we have already discussed the client-server architecture, uh, need of helper application at the server side. We have already discussed what is Servlet, what is the need of using Servlet, and its lifecycle methods also. In this video, we'll discuss about the get and post method, which are actually HTTP method, and they are used to send the data from client to server. So there are many differences between get and post method, and a user need to choose wisely between the two methods. The first difference is actually get is the default method. Means if you do not specify any method in the form field, if suppose you are using the HTML form and you are not mentioning the method like form method is equal to get or post, if you do not specify that field, it will by default take the get method. The data will be sent to the get method, and for using the post you need to specify it manually. The second one is the restriction on data length. See, the data we send to the get method is sent to the URL, and URL has limited size, so it cannot accommodate data more than a certain limit. So there is a size restriction. We cannot send use data using get, while post does not have any such restriction. This another point of comparison is security, as when we send the data through get method, the data is visible on the URL, so anybody can see it, and so we cannot send the sensitive information like password through get method. So any sensitive data should be sent to the post method only. Then we also have restrictions on the data type, like using the get method we can only send the ASCII characters, while using the post method we can also send the binary data like images, audio files, etc. Okay, and the another difference is get methods, get request can be bookmarked in the browser, while post request cannot be bookmarked using the browser. Then the next parameter is visibility. I have already discussed that the data sent through the get request is visible to everyone, and so it should not be used to send the sensitive information. Then history, parameters sent to the get method remains in the browser history, while parameters are not saved in browser history in case of post method. The get request can be cached, while the post request not cached. So these are some of the differences between get and post method. So the rule of thumb is that if you have to send long and sensitive data, you should always use post method, while if you want to send some random data or unimportant data, you can use get method, as get method is little faster than post method. So this is about get and post method. Now we will directly see one example of Servlet. Okay, so for creating a web application, we simply have to create a new web project in the NetBeans IDE. I will use NetBeans IDE for creating all type of applications in Java. Click File, New Project, and then now choose the Java Web. Since we are going to develop a web application, choose Java Web, then Web Application. Next, give name to your project, suppose web app 1. Then next, this is the servlet container. In this machine, Glassfish server is installed, and then click the finish. So NetBeans IDE will create a default page named index.html for you. This index.html page is the first page which will run if you run your web project. See, web project is a collection of n number of web pages, and when you run your web project, index.html or index.jsp is the first page which will run. So this is the navigator. You will control the navigation of all the pages through this index.html page. You can remove this head section. So this is basic HTML. I can remove this one also. What I am going to do, I am creating a form in HTML in which I will submit the username through this form, and on the server side, Servlet will receive the username and will print the hello username. So this I am going to do through this example. So in the body, let us create a form action is equal to see, name of the servlet serve, and method is equal to post. So now let us create a field. Enter your name and create a text box. Input type is equal to text, name is equal to t1. Use BR for the next line, break rotate, and then the submit button simply. Input type is equal to submit, and value is equal to submit. This value is actually the caption of the button. So this HTML page index.html is complete. Now we have to create this servlet serve. When we submit this form, the form will go to this servlet. So let us create the servlet like this. Right click on web project, new, and click on servlet. Give the name of your servlet serve. Then next, see, this is very important. Always check this checkbox, add information to deployment descriptor. I will discuss later in the video, maybe in the next video, what is the use of this web.xml file. This web.xml file is actually used to map the request to the correct servlet. So now let us finish it. So this is our serve.java. Let us remove the comments. We can remove all the comments. Okay. Now please recall the please recall these life cycle methods discussed in the previous videos. previous video of servlet, I have told you that servlet has three lifecycle methods: init method, service method, and destroy method. But here you are seeing some another method, process request. So basically this service method is used with the generic servlet. By generic servlet I mean protocol independent servlet. But since we use HTTP protocol for transferring of data from client to server and from server to client, we use the HTTP servlet. So HTTP servlet is the subclass of, we can say, subclass of generic servlet. So here, in order to create a servlet, the servlet class should extend the HTTP servlet, right? So in HTTP servlet, in place of service method, we have two methods, do get and do post, right? Like this, do get and do post. The signature is almost similar as the signature of service method. In service method we use the service request class, and in do get method we are using HTTP servlet request, since it is the HTTP method, since we are using the HTTP servlet. So we are simply adding the HTTP with servlet. So same, the syntax is almost same: HTTP servlet request, request object, then response object, and we are simply declaring the two exceptions, servlet exception and IO exception. See, this process request is not a standard method, rather it is the method defined by the or given by the NetBeans ID. So it is a user defined method and it is not a standard method. See, we have two methods. Actually what happens, do get method is used to handle only the get request, and do post method is used to handle the post request. So if you don't know, or probably, which method user has used at the client side, which method programmer has used at the client side to send the data, you can use a third method. Here the third method is process request, and what we are doing, we are calling this process request method inside both do get and do post method. So you can see in do get also we are calling the process request and passing this request and response object, and in post method also we are passing the request response and calling the process request. So whichever method programmer has used in the HTML form, you recall I have used the post method, so it will invoke the do post method, and inside do post method it will call the process request method. So indirectly this process request method will be called, right? So now come to the first line of this method. This is the signature. You all have to memorize the syntax of this class. First, servlet name. Servlet class should extend the HTTP servlet, and then it can have three lifecycle methods like init, do get or do post method, and destroy method. Here, so this line response.set content type is actually setting the content type of the response being sent by the server. Here the default content type is text.html, text/HTML. This will give the output in the form of web page. We can change this content type to application/word or application/PDF to send the output as PDF file or Word file, or maybe in some other format. So we can change the format of response using this line, response.set content type. There is one more line which is commonly used in every servlet, that is print writer out is equal to new, sorry, response dot get writer. So this out object of print writer class is used to write something on the web page. See, this is not the console programming, this is web programming. In console programming we use system.out.print to write something on the console screen, but in web programming we need object of print writer class to write something on the web page. So this is the common syntax. This syntax is almost used in all the Servlets. And now our particular application, what I am trying to do, I have to first read the username sent by the client. So in order to read that field, I will use request.getParameter method. So request.getParameter method will always return the things in the string format. So a string object and request.getParameter and parameter name. So the name of the field we used to contain the username was T1. The name of the text box was T1. So I will read the T1 text box, then and simply I have to print the hello and hello or welcome user. So I can print it like out.print and then welcome, give some space and s. So this is all we have done with the coding. So let us run it. First time it takes some time to run. So if I write some name, print welcome Shivansh. So this is how we can develop small web applications. So this is all for now. Thank you.